I'm gonna be honest. I'm sick and tired of you not being a gamer. Recently, a friend of mine started Limbus company, and they said, "Hey bro, should I re-roll this account?" And here's the summon they did. "Should I re-roll this account?" I said, "Dude, no." And he said, "Well, as the most handsome person I know, and also really funny, you should probably let me know how to do this." So, that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to talk you through Limbus company, but not from a really confusing standpoint. From a dummish standpoint. So that everybody knows. Let's get into it. So, the first thing you need to know is, right here is the friend code, and you should add me, please. I need the help. Now, the most important thing is, here's your stamina system. You can refresh it using the currency, the gacha currency that you gamble with. You can use boxes which you can earn, which basically recharge 60, just like that. Modules are another form of stamina that you spend. More on that soon. I want to talk about this, really briefly. Out of all of these, this is useless. Never click this. I'm being serious, unless you're like a really big lore nerd, never click this. Because, I don't see a reason to, and honestly, like, get back to the window, you got your settings, inventory, all that good stuff. This is going to be where KJH apologizes for fucking up the game, and you like, thank you KJH, that's my favorite guy right there. Now, right here is team building. There's a lot of team slots you can do. Here are the characters you get, okay? There's only 12. There's only ever going to be 12. That's it. That's the great thing with Limbus company. There's 12 characters, it's all you need. And if you go in more, this is where it gets more complicated, okay? So, because my head's covering it up, I'm going to move my head real quick. So yeah, there's your 12 characters, and then you click on all identities. And then it gets confusing. Because now is all the... Well, there's a lot of characters here. There's like a lot of characters. That's basically where the gacha element comes into it. Where you want more characters, spend the lunacy, which is the in-game currency, to get those characters. Which is the extract. And right now, you get a banner, you can click it, is what it is. Never do this. Never ever ever do this. You see here, 115. That means it took me 115 wishes before I stopped, because I got this character who's on the extraction. Which is this guy. I mean, you can also... When you hit 200, you can outright buy them. Here's why you don't do that. The dispense. So, let's go through this real briefly. This is where every single identity in the game will end up after the banner is over. This is a special event, which you're going to ignore this until it actually appears. Don't worry about this. Seriously, don't worry about this. Now, right here, as you can see, more on these in a second, but get your identities again. Your announcers, who are just people who talk over it. And right here, as you can see, every single character. Now, not all of them appear, because I own some of them. For example, I need 400 E.G.O shards. What are E.G.O shards? Well, these are E.G.O shards. You get them by gambling. Okay? Cool. So once you reach 400 E.G.O shards, you outright can buy the identity from here, and it'll disappear. One thing to note though, this is going to be super important to know. So right now, we are on Season 6. The previous season before that was Season 5, which we know because that's how numbers work. The reason not everything is here, or you can't purchase, is simply because you can't. It's really that simple. But not to fret. As you can see, Season 4 is here. Now, what happens is, you have to wait at least 2 seasons before the previous season before. Let me dumb this down even better. When Season 7 hits, Season 5 available. It's that simple. A quick note, a very quick note, never. No. No, don't even think about it. I see you looking at it, don't even think about it. No. Bad. So, this right here, Drive, is going to be the most important screen that you will see. Mostly because this is where everything happens combat-wise. For example, Inferno, there's a lot of events, so cantos are the main story points. Intervalos are just fun little bridges that go there. And when there's a new intervalo, there is an event usually. For example, this is brand new, Spring Cultivation. We have an event. Now, if you're familiar with Gacha games, you know how events work. You go in, you earn special currency from that event. You get to go to a reward exchange. So as you can see here, we have a new event. And what happens with events? You get event currency because, you know, how else are we going to incentivize you to play him? You take that reward currency, go to reward exchange. There you go. This here, the mirror dungeon, is your weekly endgame grind content. You go in, you grind 6 floors. There you go. Let's go dive into it a little bit, just in case you're unfamiliar. So don't worry about this. In fact, I wouldn't recommend this right now, since you're still learning. You enter. You get to pick your team. So let's just say I want this burn team. We confirm. Don't worry about this. Honestly, like, yeah, just don't worry about it. Yep, confirm. When you get to pick, for lack of better terms, trying to put this into the most simplest terms I can think of. Your buffs. Yeah, E.G.Os are buffs. You click here, you get to apply, say, Hetterfly's Dream. Confirm. Refuse gift. This is just... Normally you do all this, but for the purpose of this, we're just going to skip it because I ain't reading all that. You'll learn that very briefly. Reading in this game is a death sentence. You get to pick whichever you want. We can do all that. And then, boom, there you go. It just goes all the way. And then, yeah, blah, blah, blah. When you leave, however, always click to window. Because it will save you progress, return to the main menu, and wherever you left off, you'll go right back in. Okay? Super important, always to window. Now, I glossed over this before, but I'm going to go back in and explain real briefly. What are E.G.Os? Well, do you know weapons? There you go. It's basically it. They give you... There's no artifact loadouts, no weapon buffs. It's just they go in, they offer nice passives, which could proc or big effects. The best one I can think of right now is probably... So this is a really good one, because it's nice, it's simple, it's not complicated. You activate this, you attack, heal 2 other allies. That's it, that's the main effect, okay? This is the passive, which is if Roja is on your team. Oh, by the way, this is the character's name, Roja. So if she's on your team with this equipped beforehand, which we just go back, edit team, E.G.O. I have it equipped. So what happens is she gets this passive if she is in the team. There you go. Nice, simple, because we can get really confusing now by, I don't know, going to bleed, edit team, activate something like yearning, which once again, that's fine. Then you read this and you think, which, I'll be honest, isn't that much, but it can look like a lot. Especially on the corrosion, which, let's be honest, you're not reading. And I'll explain why in a second. Also, quick side note, this is also your other main form of endgame content. You go in, you get fucked up, you go, wow, that was great, I can't wait to do it again. And then you never touch it again. Hope that helps. So right now, this is something you never touch. This is the excavation, okay? Only ever do the XP. Bread is just, you'll get that naturally over the course of the game, okay? Never, just don't, it's not worth it. It's a trap. Everybody, veterans will agree, hopefully. It's a trap! Now, XP is where it's at. Now, let's take a quick dive into the combat, because when I started Limbus Company, the tutorial was really confusing. I believe they've revamped the tutorial so it's easier, but also, it's not, like, it's just easy if I show you, okay? So, before we load in, we go to team selection, which is where you go in and you just select the characters you want to take in. Now, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes it's 6, sometimes like this you can go to 7. And then what happens after that? Well, you get to pick backups, where if a character dies, say for example, my Fire Fist Gregor dies. What would happen is, he would die, and then number 8 that I've picked would come back in. Or would take his place, I should say. So, we just do that. You don't have to do this, but sometimes it's just nice. Now, the backups are on the bench. So they get the... You know what? I'll just show you what they get. Let's take Magic Bullet as an example. Now, because she's in the team, let's take Magic Bullet as an example. So we go over to skill. These are the 3 skills you use. Now, let's use Magic Bullet as an example. Now, as you can see here, she's up type 4, which is important because you need up type 3 to unlock skill 3s. Now, you have 3 skills that you get to pick, and they will appear here. However, you only get 2. So right now, as you can see, we've got a 1 red and 1 blue, which means it's either this skill, skill 1, or skill 2. You get to pick whichever one you want to use. What will happen is, as you can see right here in the corner, like right above, there's a new skill waiting to be used. So let's pick out here. Once all these have been used, they will be replaced by the ones above. So as you can see here, there's a red one waiting to be used on Faust. Let's click this. Let's just skip past this, shall we? So, as you can see, we have a red skill now, because I used one of her skills, and it has to be replaced. And it's the same for everybody. Okay? Once again, we go back to Magic Bullet. I'm going to explain passives. Okay? So we get this passive here because she is in the team lineup. So a selected ID you've got goes in, gets this top one. Those that aren't picked or are in backup, on the bench as it were, they get supports. Now these don't work when you're in the field. So this means when I get 3 of this affinity, this would trigger if she's on the bench. Better yet, as you can see right here, Flaring Brand, that means I need 3 of this to be chained. So if I go there, now it's active, because I have 3 out of 3 resonance. Now sometimes it will be like, oh, you need to own that many. What if I can find it? Yeah, so there we are. Once I own 4 of this ability, this would proc. Whereas this is once you have 3, as you can see here, once you get 3 here, this would trigger. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, just don't be afraid to ask the community, because the community is some of the best people you can meet. I'm going to get into trouble for this, okay? Now, I want to keep this between you and me. I'm going to give you a cheat code now. Now, this shouldn't be used all the time. To a certain point, it will be impossible to do. More often than not. Unless it's a mob, okay? If anyone else finds out I've told you this, I'm in trouble. Okay? Get ready. So here's the magic cheat that nobody wants you to know about. You press win rate, it selects what's going to win. Then you press start. Or if you're on keyboard, you press P and you press enter. Hope that helps. Bonus points, if you press P twice you get damage, which is we're going to inflict a lot of damage. I wouldn't recommend this all the time because more often than not it's just better to pick your own skills. These are what we call focus encounters, and I'll explain why. So this is what we call a focused encounter. Now as you can see, the drag all option has been replaced by this thing, which zooms in, you get to see the skills. You click this if you just want to be funny. Like, okay. Now a focus encounter is quite different. As you can see, these 3 skills are attacking these 3 enemies. So you go here. You don't have to worry about clashing, I mean you do, but not right now. This is what a focus encounter is, okay? So I've selected where the attacks are going to go. Now, if we go back, we press win rate, it selects it automatically for you. And sometimes it's okay to do, other times, more often than not, you want to do it yourself. And if you press damage, it'll just be like, okay, it's all going to this one skill. Before I explain what I think is the most confusing part about Limbus Company, I want to talk about status ailments, which is the negative effects you give to the enemy. So, as you can see here, it says burn. That's just one of the many types of negative status effects you can inflict, and they all do something differently. For example, burn is at the end of a turn, takes fixed damage by the effect's potency, and it reduces by 1. So let me show you what that's going to look like. So right here, as you can see, the enemy is going to take 19 fixed damage at the end of this turn for the next 12 turns. That's it. It looks complicated, it's really not. What gets complicated is stuff like Tremor, which, I'll be honest, I don't know enough of, and at this point I'm too scared to ask. So, there it is. Stick with Burn, stick with Bleed, stick with Rupture. There you go. Now, some things like Charge are positive, where they get the benefits of having Charge. However, the Sinners can have something that is like Poise, which is beneficial for us. Basically increases crit chances. We all know what crit is, you know, crit rate, crit damage. Cool. Good, let's move on. Here's the most confusing thing I don't understand to this day, and quite honestly, I don't think I will. I just like, hey, press win rate, press enter, you know, that kind of thing. So as you can see, it says 16 over 36. So that is the lowest it can roll is 16. The highest it can roll is 36 when it flips the little coins that you see. Let me take this skill, go here. Now right there, as you can see, it's been lowered. I don't understand that, but I never will. However, now the lowest it can roll is 5 and the highest it can roll is 13. Whereas our lowest is 8 and our highest is 26 when it, you know, flips the coins. That's basically it. The numbers at the top, 159%, I believe that's just going to be, that's how much damage it inflicts if it wins, but it shouldn't. And you notice you get stuff like Dominating, which is you're more than likely guaranteed to win that clash. Favored, which is, you're in a good spot. Neutral, it can go either way. God, I can't remember the other one, but yeah, there's one like, Struggling, which is, you could, but don't do it. And Hopeless is, you're going to die. Hopefully this has been beneficial in the combat, okay? I may have missed some things, but what I've covered is more or less the most important things you need to know with Limbus Company. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you is honestly, don't be afraid to reach out and talk to some members of the community. In fact, join the Discord, you know, links are down below in the description, because out of all the fandoms I've interacted with, the Limbus community has just been, oh, you don't understand it? Cool, let's go and explain that. And everybody is just so nice, so chill. I really hope that even if you watch this back and you think, okay, you've explained it, but I don't understand it still, don't be afraid to just reach out. I mean this genuinely. Limbus Company is one of the most free-to-play friendly games I've ever seen. Especially because every single character, after a week after when this is over, Limbus Company is just one of the most free-to-play friendly options. Limbus Company is just one of the most free-to-play friendly games I've seen in a gacha game. For example, when this ends, it's not, oh, I have to wait for a rerun. Which, I'll be honest, reruns do happen. This one's already happened before. Like, every single one here has already been available. As you can see there, Season 6. So she's already happened. We have the dispenser room. So even if, say, oh, I was playing during Season 3 and I don't have the middle little sister, I'll just shard for it, like by using E.G.O shards, which you know now because you watched the video. I don't think there's no reason not to play this game other than, and this is my only complaint, I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me you've read all of this. Or better yet, you've got arguably the best identity in the game. 2 skills, blah blah blah, then you've got passive, you got another passive, and it's just, you can click on this to see what assist defense is, and then what Shinju Starblade is, and then what Deathrite Fissure is. A lot of the text is very much filled up. Now, it doesn't look like a lot, but when you're in the midst of battle, and you need to remember what this passive is, you click on it, and you just see all of this. And I'm not reading all that. I truly am not reading this. I just can't. Okay, hey, we're back over here now. I've not addressed it, but I'm going to address it now. I am wearing a stripy t-shirt. It looks great on me, I'm aware. Thank you. Yeah, just give Limbus Company a go. If it's confusing, you can just back out and be like, hey, I tried it, it wasn't for me, I'm just gonna, not do that. Because believe it or not, that is an option you can do. If you don't like a game, if you find a game confusing, you can just go, nah, I'm done. It's really that simple. Anyway, have a good rest of your day. Big outro, jazz hands. Bye.